What's up, Powder Pals? This video for yoga is designed for skiers and snowboarders. So we're going to do a lot of standing poses today and, using some of those muscle groups that we use on the hill, but also just taking a moment to pause and turn our focus inward, work on a bit of balance, and some of these more subtle skills and areas that might help us prevent injury on the hill and just make the most of our experience out there, prepare our bodies for it, and yeah, just really make the most of it. It's a great video for cross training or if you're just wanting to get prepared for the season. So hopefully you find this useful, and thanks for joining us.
We're Karen Physiotherapy, your trusted source for health classes, information, and outdoor activity preparation. We help you live the lifestyle you dream of.
So we're just going to start in easy pose today, or a cross-legged seated position like this. If this position's hard for you to get in, feel free to use a pillow or a block just to sit on and raise your sit bones a little bit. So I have a little pillow here. I'll just tuck under my sit bones and it just rises my hips up so that my legs can fall forward a little bit easier like this. We're just going to rest our hands gently on our thighs here, and we'll close our eyes, just bringing our focus inward and noticing the natural rhythm of your breath just as it is now. And slowly we're going to want to try and deepen our breath. So see if you can really imagine that you're filling your belly up with air as you're breathing in, and then letting it all go as you breathe out. Breathe out any tension or stress that you feel today. And seeing what sensations you notice around your pelvis as you're breathing deeply, around your core unit. Can you feel your belly expanding as you breathe air in, or do you feel like your muscles there are just holding on a bit too tight? And see if we can just let that all go. Now you can blink your eyes open here, and we're going to just almost hunch forward, bringing our mid back to the wall behind you and rolling our shoulders forward as you hold on to your knees, tucking your chin towards your chest. And then as you breathe in, we're going to bring our chest all the way up, shining forward and looking up ahead of you. And breathing out as we come back, rolling forward and breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And last one, breathing out here. Now come to a neutral position. And we're just going to bring our chin down towards our chest. Feeling a gentle stretch at the back of your neck. Looking all the way up above you. Back to neutral. We're going to bring our right ear towards our right shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch on the left side. Back to the middle, and then left ear to your left shoulder. Back to the middle, and we're going to look over our right shoulder. Back to neutral and over our left shoulder. and back. Now from here, we're going to move into a 4-point kneeling position. So if it's available to you, you can just roll forward from your easy pose and transition to 4-point kneeling this way, or come into a side sitting position first and move into it from there. So we'll meet in tabletop position here. And I want you to try and tuck your chin in this position. So we're lengthening the back of the neck. And as you keep your chin tucked here, see if you can lengthen, keep the lengthened back of the neck and lift up from kind of the back of your head without lifting your nose up into the air. So you're kind of doing something like this without tilting the nose up like that. So we're going to hold this position here, come back down, and then tucking the chin again, lifting from the back of the head, as if there's a little string just on the very back of your head being pulled up towards the ceiling. Breathe out as you lower down. Breathe in as you lift. We'll do one more. Lower down. Keep that chin tucked and lift from the back of the head. Good. Now come back to neutral. We can shake out those neck muscles a little, look forwards, backwards, side to side. And we're going to tuck our chin again. This time we're going to lift up just as we did before, and we're going to look over our right shoulder. Come back to the middle, tuck our chin, and we're going to lift up and look over the left shoulder. Back to neutral. So it's really hard to get the coordination here, but building the strength and coordination in your neck is actually a really good preventative measure for concussions, which can happen when you're skiing or snowboarding. So we're going to try one more set of that on each side. So we're going to tuck our chin, lift from the very back of your head, look over your right shoulder, back to the middle, tuck your chin, lift up from the back of your head, look over your left shoulder, and come back to the middle. From here, we're going to take a nice big inhale as we move into our cow position. So we're going to drop our belly, shine our heart forward, and look up at the wall ahead of you. And then we're going to exhale as we come into our angry cat position, lifting the back of our mid-back towards the ceiling and really pushing away from the floor. Coming into cow position, dropping your belly, looking up, and exhaling as we come into our cat position. So move back and forth here just at the speed of your own breath. Inhaling as we look up and exhaling as we look down. We'll do one more. And then we'll meet in just neutral tabletop position again here. Now from here, we're going to lift your right arm forward, lifting all the way up so it's in line with your back. And we're going to lower that back down. And we're going to lift our left arm up forward so it's in line with our back. And lower that down. Now our right leg, we're going to extend behind us. Really nice and straight. And if it's available to you, we can either stay here, or if you want to make it a bit more challenging, we can lift up the left arm at the same time. Now from here, we're going to see if we can draw our left elbow towards our right knee. And back out to our extended position. And again, left elbow to the right knee. And extend. Left elbow to the right knee. Extend. Let's do that one more time. Elbow to knee. Extend. And relax. Back to tabletop. You can shift your weight side to side. Come back into a low kneel and give your wrists a break. You can do some wrist rolling. And we'll meet back in our 4-point kneeling. So from here, we're going to extend our left leg behind us this time. And if this feels challenging enough, we can stay here. Otherwise, lifting the right arm forward. And from here, we're going to bring our right elbow towards our left knee. And extend. Really trying to stay stable. Elbow to knee. And elbow to knee. And let's do one more here. Bringing our right elbow to our left knee. Back out to extension and relax. So feel free to spread your knees here. Drop your hips back onto your heels and come into a little child's pose. Just take a minute here to bring it back to your breath. Notice how you're feeling. I'm trying to breathe into any areas of tension. When you're ready, coming back to 4-point kneeling, we're going to walk our hands in front and tuck our toes behind us and send our hips up and back into a downward dog. From here, we're just going to pedal it out, noticing the stretch at the back of your calf. Don't worry if your heels don't reach the floor, and really try and think about bringing your chest towards your knees or your thighs. So from downward dog here, we're just going to lift our left leg, kind of dragging your foot right up the back, keeping your toes active and dialing them towards the midline. So you don't want to end up stacking your hips like this. You won't be able to lift your leg as high, but your toes will be dialing towards the midline. So we're going to hold this 3-legged dog here, really pushing away equally with both hands. And we're going to bring our knee forward as high as you can. Keep that heel going towards your bottom. And we're going to step up into a low lunge here. Now from here, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, coming up into a bit of a high lunge position. And we're just going to raise our arms overhead. Now, if it's available to you, you can try and look up. Bring a little bit of back bend to your position and really keep that front knee over top of your front ankle. So take a nice breath in here. And if you fall over, that's normal. And from here, we're going to bring your arms all the way back down, framing your front foot. And we're going to bring that left foot back into a high plank or top of a push-up. Now, you have the option to drop your knees, and we're going to come down, keeping your elbows close to your body all the way down to the floor. Or you can do a full vinyasa here, bringing your body from the top of a push-up position all the way down to the floor. Now from here, we're going to push through our hands, lifting with your chest all the way up into a cobra, and exhaling all the way back down. Good. Now from here, we're going to tuck our toes back into a plank position. And from here, lifting your hips, exhaling as you come into a downward dog. Very good. So take a little breath here. Feel free to pedal it out. Do what you need to do. And we're going to drop our left heel this time, lifting the right leg up all the way behind us. Doesn't matter how high you go. Keeping those toes active and turning inwards. From here, we're going to bring our knee forward, keeping our heel close to our bottom, and stepping up again to a low lunge. Now looking forward, bringing your hands to your hips, all the way up, really looking ahead of you, and pressing through all four corners of your feet. From here, we're going to lift our arms up high, looking up as high as you can, coming into a bit of a back bend, and lowering your hands all the way down. Now frame your feet. We're going to step back and meet down on the floor. Coming into a low cobra, all the way back down, tucking your toes, doing a push-up, and lifting your hips into a downward dog. Now have a little break here. If you need to come into a child's pose, you can bring your knees down, toes together, and drop your bottom onto your heels as you walk your hands forward. Take a few deep breaths here. And we're going to come back up and meet in our downward dog. So from our downward dog, we're just going to walk our feet up to meet our hands. And you can do this however you like. So you can do a big jump, you can take baby steps, you can take 2 big steps, whatever feels best for you. And we're going to meet in a forward fold. So just letting your head hang heavy. You can grab opposite elbows. You can let your hands rest on the floor. Whatever feels good for you is great. You can do some swaying. And from here, we're either going to have our hands on our shins, our knees, or our hips, and come up into a halfway lift. So really imagining that you're lifting with the back, kind of your mid-back area up. And then we'll fold down again. And from here, we're going to bring our hands by our feet as we bend our knees, almost as if you're lifting a big beach ball up overhead. Bring your hands together and meet at the heart. From here, we're going to bring our feet together. Hands out in front, just at shoulder height to start with. And you're going to send your hips back behind you into a bit of a modified chair pose. So we just want to get the right sensations today. It's not about how you're lifting really high or how low you're going, but making sure you're light in your toes and you're putting weight through the ball joints and the heels of your feet. And we're going to try and keep our chest pointed up forwards, having really good alignment where we are. And if it's available to you, you can raise your arms up higher and sink lower. Good. Now from here, we're going to stand all the way up. Bring your arms together overhead, hands to your heart, and from here, we fold forward. Big breath out. Coming into a halfway lift, however that looks for you, and folding down again. Now bring your hands next to your feet as you bend your knees and lift your arms up overhead. Bring your hands to your heart center, and you're going to bring your feet together here. From here, we're going to bring our arms forward again. Sit back into our chair, hands to your heart, and we're going to take a twist. So we're going to bring our left elbow to our right knee. You can push away from our hands here. You can make your bottom hand into a fist to get a better push from if that feels good for you. You want to feel some opposition in this position here. Good. Now we're going to transition into a warrior two here. If this transition doesn't feel right for you, feel free to just meet us there. If you want to give this a try, we're going to shift all our weight into our right foot, and we're going to trust that our left foot will catch us behind us, okay? So we're going to take the weight out of the left foot, and as you can, we're going to step the left foot back into a lunge. So really keep that right knee over top of your right ankle. Keep pushing out of those hands. Keep that opposition. And from here, we're going to come all the way up. Bring our hands forward. Shift your back foot so it's pointing outwards. And we're going to move into a warrior two. So bring your pinkies back behind you. Keep that front knee over your front ankle. And we're going to reach forward, up and back into peaceful warrior. And back to warrior two. And then we're going to step our left foot up to meet our right foot at the top of the mat. From here, we'll fold forward. Nice big cleansing breath here. And we'll do a halfway lift. Folding down. Bringing your hands by your feet, bending your knees, and bringing your arms up overhead. Palms together, meeting at the heart. Now we're going to do the other side this time here. So feet together, and we're going to bring our arms forward, sitting back into our chair pose. Bring your palms together at your heart here. Keep your chest pointing forward. Really try and lift your chest, not slouching forward. And from here, we're going to bring our right elbow to our left knee, like this. So same thing, you can make your lower hand into a fist, really trying to get that opposition. And having a few breaths here. Make sure you can still wiggle your toes. And if you want to try this transition with us again, we're going to take the weight out of our right foot this time and trust that our right foot will catch us. So we're going to lift up, step that all the way back. If you lose your balance, that's okay. That's welcome. That's why we practice yoga. Very good. Now from here, we're going to come up, keep our hands at our chest into a lunge, and then we're going to pivot our back foot out to the side and move into a warrior two. Really pull your pinkies back behind you. Feel those muscles in your mid-back working. And from here, we're going to take a nice breath in as we reach forward. Bring our arms up and back into peaceful warrior. Come back into warrior two. Very good. And let's step all the way up to the front of our mat. Now, resting here in a mountain pose, we've built some heat in our mountain. See if you notice any new sensations around your feet, how they feel on the floor, any sensation around your knees that you're noticing, how are your hips feeling, and your back. See if you can slow your breath down. And really notice what's going on. Bring your arms out to the side as we go overhead, clapping your hands together and bringing them to your heart. Let's do 2 more of those. As we inhale, we're going to bring our arms up overhead. Clap your hands together and down at your heart. One more time here. Nice big breath in. And hands down to your heart. Okay. Now, almost done here. You're doing great. We're going to come back into a chair pose again, just as you were before, keeping your arms up at shoulder height, sending your hips back behind you. And you can have a little bit of space in between your feet for this. So maybe just like a fist or a bit smaller than that. And you're going to keep your chest up ahead. From here, we're going to bring our arms back behind us, palms facing down, as if we're a little bird here, just with our wings. From here, we're going to see if we can come up onto your toes, lift your heels up, and come into a hummingbird position. So really keep your chest up. Keep those ankles nice and strong. Don't worry if you're wobbling. Just do your best. Take 3 breaths here. Good work. And lower your heels. Bring your hands to your heart and come into a forward fold. Nice big exhales here. Now we're going to come back up to standing. Have your feet as wide as your mat. So I'm just going to face towards you so you can see. But if your toes are just coming off the sides of your mat, that's perfect. And what we're going to do is come into a yogi squat. So from here, we're just going to lower our hips down, keep our toes pointed outwards, and we can have our hands at our heart. So you'll find your elbows come just inside your knees, and you find this position here. Now, don't worry if your heels are up off the ground, or if you're struggling to get into this position, just come into an easy cross-leg position on the floor. But if you find this position and this feels good for you, take 3 breaths here. And from here, we're going to reach one arm back at a time and slowly lower ourselves into a seat. Now from your seat, let's come onto our backs. Take your time getting there. And we're going to keep our knees bent, bring our hands by our sides, and walk your heels as close as you can to your bottom. Now from here, we're going to take a nice inhale before we get started. And as you exhale, you're going to lift your hip points up towards the ceiling, coming into a bridge pose. As you inhale, we're going to lower down. And as you exhale, we're going to lift. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. Last one here, exhaling. And inhaling. And big exhale here. Now straighten out your legs one at a time. And relax your hands by your side. We're going to close our eyes here and just notice where your breath is at. Notice if you feel a little bit of heat in your body here. Notice how your legs are feeling. And if there's any new sensations in your back. Notice how your upper body, your shoulders are feeling. And see if we can deepen our breath a little bit more. Really expand your belly. And imagine with every inhale, a mountain is growing on your belly, so it's expanding up. See if you can bring any of this awareness to your experience on the ski hill. Whether it's you're snowboarding or if you're doing backcountry, and seeing if you can pause and take a note of what's happening in that moment. And sometimes this internal reflection is really good for injury prevention and performance. And just taking a moment to notice the subtle signals that your body's telling you that it needs. So if you have time to rest for longer today, I definitely invite you to do so. If you need to get going, we can start to blink our eyes open, wiggle our toes, wiggle your fingers a little bit, and gently just rolling over onto your side as you push up into a seated position. So thank you for practicing with me today. I hope everyone has a safe and fun season ahead. Snowboarding and skiing are such great sports, and it can be such amazing experiences that take you to beautiful parts of the world. So I hope everyone has a great season, and thank you for practicing with me today.